Buying a new home in Washington before selling your current one can feel impossible, downright stressful, risky, flat out overwhelming. But Justina's got a program that can take all the stress off your plate. And welcome to PE turned RE. I'm Curtis, and today I have the luxury of talking to Justina with Mortgage One Northwest. Today she's bringing something really cool to the table. But before we talk about this game-changing program, Justina, can you kind of introduce yourself to the people?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Curtis, for having me. My name's Justina. I'm with a local brokerage called Mortgage One Northwest. And yeah, I'm really excited about this program, mostly because it eliminates so many issues when it comes to our homeowners that are looking to get into their next home.
Yeah,
And sorry,
and
was I supposed to talk more about myself?
oh no, you're all
I just
good.
like jumping right into it.
Yes, I love it. So you and I actually had met a couple times, but we really got to kind of dig deep into what we're each about at this event we went to last week. Can you tell us about the event? It was the first one that you hosted.
Yes, it was our Lending on Tap event. I hosted that with a few other lovely lender ladies, and we all had our own different programs that we wanted to introduce. And my topic was the Buy Before You Sell program, just because I'm kind of passionate about it. Like I said, it resolves a lot of obstacles when it comes to our home owners who are currently looking to buy their next home. But like I mentioned at the Lending on Tap event, more than 50% of these homeowners need to tap into their current equity to apply to their next home. So a lot of these people, some of them are looking to downgrade. Most of them are looking to expand. They probably have like a growing family, more kids coming. Um, or maybe they're looking to get into their dream home. They put in their work. It's not easy to become a homeowner. They did it. They've built up some equity, and now they're ready to move up or move on to the next cycle of their home ownership journey.
And that's awesome. I know when you were up there at the event, I could tell there was such passion for this program. And that's kind of why I wanted to have you on. Now, before we dig into like the nitty-gritty and the meat and potatoes of the program, can you kind of tell us where did this passion come from? How'd you get into the lending world?
Yeah, well, I do have a passion for this program. Um,
Looks like she dropped. Looks like she dropped off. Let's see if we can get her back on here. There we go.
yeah, sorry, I had a call come through and then it totally booted me out.
You were all good. I was ready to blame the public school like Wi-Fi completely, and so, but
No, it was me. I probably clicked the wrong button or something.
I appreciate the honesty. Yeah. So where did the passion for the program or you getting into lending really come from?
It's quite a long story, but just to keep it short, I was an administrative assistant for a lot of years before this, working for an insurance brokerage. And the reason why how I got into insurance is because my ex-husband is actually an insurance agent. So I feel like that's just what I've known. So I kind of just followed along and continued working in that industry. But, one day I was just at my desk and I was like, you know what? I need something more meaningful than this. It just felt like I wasn't really making a difference. I wasn't really directly helping anyone. And I just remembered one of my friends was a real estate agent. So I spoke to her about it. And then casually, I was having lunch with my another friend who's not in the industry, but she mentioned that her management um, for the company she worked with, they weren't around as often because one of them, they're a married couple. One of them became a real estate agent and the other one became a lender. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's such a good idea. So just the combination of those two friends and the just thinking about how much my friend enjoyed real estate kind of got me interested in it. And then she introduced me to her mortgage broker friend. And I was like, you know what? That really actually suits my personality a lot better than being a real estate agent. No offense to being a real estate agent, but uh, yeah, it just suited me better. So, and I really enjoy it because I get to help people, which I just wasn't feeling that at my regular, 9 to 5 desk job, like just pushing papers and accounts payable and all that. It's just really like emotionally rewarding for me to do this. So. And then as far as the Buy Before You Sell program, I'm passionate about that because I just have firsthand experience with it. So I had a client who's been, making offers with the contingency to sell, and they've just been continuously denied, like no offers accepted over and over again, because as you know, when you have a contingency to sell, that those offers kind of get thrown on the back burner, and it's like the lowest offer on the totem pole. So it's just tough, and it's really discouraging for them, and it's hard to watch them keep trying and trying. So when I set them up with this program, it changed everything. No more contingency to offer. They're still able to eliminate the current mortgage liability from the debt to income ratio, which increases their purchase power. And some people might not even qualify if they have to actually calculate that mortgage payment into their debt to income ratio. So that's an extra bonus with this program. But basically, yeah, firsthand experience. I've seen it help people. My office loves it as well. It's just a really great program. So.
Wow. Okay. So I can definitely feel like the passion and how much value that you want to bring with this program and just being a lender in a general, you know? And so it sounds like folks that need to buy a place but try to sell their own are kind of stuck in this limbo zone, right?
Mhm.
You were talking about how the offers with contingency are kind of at the bottom of the totem pole. Can
Right.
yeah, can you talk more about what like about why that is?
Well, the reason why is because like imagine you're a seller, you're looking to sell your home and you have a buyer who placed an offer, but they won't be able to buy your house unless they sell their current house. And there's just no guarantee that they'll sell their current house, as opposed to, having offers where there is no contingency to sell their house. They have the cash in their bank account and ready to go, or, um, even cash offers, of course, always win. They're at the top all the time, but um basically it's just more of a risk. There's no guarantee that they'll sell that current home that they're in, so most sellers just don't want to deal with it and rather take an offer where they have the money in the bank account and are ready to go. So
Yeah, it's kind of taking that for sure thing versus that thing that may or may not happen, especially in this market, as we're seeing
mhm.
in at least in Pierce County, days on market has started to kind of grow.
Right, and there's so many obstacles to get through any type of home buying journey. There's the inspection you have to get through, there's appraisal, there's all sorts of things that can happen during the underwriting process. So it really isn't a guarantee. So it's understandable that the offers could not, contingency to sell offers aren't being accepted.
Okay.
I mean, it does happen. It just takes so much longer. And then once they do finally go under contract, there's still so many obstacles to overcome. Like you have to get the timing right. And that's really tough sometimes. It's like you have to sell that house by the time you buy that house. And each each transaction is going to be completely different. So that's kind of tough as well. Or maybe they somehow are able to sell their current home, but now it's like, where am I going to live now? Like where can I go? Some people have to find like temporary rentals. So that's kind of tough.
Hmm.
Um, it just resolves a lot of issues. And um, the buy before you sell, we're partnered through Homelight. So basically, we're able to pull the funds up front. It's like an advance from their current home to apply to the down and closing costs of that new home that they want to purchase. So
Okay.
that kind of eliminates that whole contingency to sell issue. And
Hmm.
then it also, at the same time, eliminates the mortgage liability from the debt to income ratio, like I mentioned before. And it's a 0% advance. There's no payments on it. There's no lump balloon payment that's due after a certain amount of time, or else you have to. It's so if you compare it to a traditional bridge loan, a bridge loan most of the time there's an interest rate that comes with it. There's payments, and then you have to pay that off within like 3 months after you well, actually there is no there's just it's just 3 months after you establish the bridge loan. And so that can leave you kind of vulnerable, because then you have the current mortgage liability, the new home mortgage payment, and then now you have this bridge loan. So that's another way that this buy before you sell program protects the client.
All right. All right. So I kind of want to paint a picture here. All right. And you're about to help me out.
Okay. I know, I'm probably all over the place. Yes.
No,
Help
no,
me
no,
stay
no, no.
organized.
You're all good. For those that don't know, this is Justina's first ever interview like this. So she's doing great so far. So thank you so much. So
Thank
we're gonna paint one picture. A person that does not go your path, they go the traditional bridge loan path.
Mhm.
What pain or could they possibly experience going the bridge loan path?
Well, the bridge loan is it's just risky. It's kind of a turbulent process, I guess. There is a payment that's going to be due, because the bridge loan is completely separate. It's like a whole separate loan, as opposed to the buy before you sell. It's kind of combined with the new first mortgage. So it's like we're buy before you sell program through Homelight is working with the listing agent, me as the loan officer, and then also the buyer's agent. So we're all working together as a team. The bridge loan is just a separate loan. They're gonna, you're gonna have payments on it. Then they're gonna have a rule where you need to pay that off by a certain amount of time, and it's just a lot more of a stressful process. Like it eliminates the issue of not having the funds available for your down and closing. Like it's basically a loan that takes care of that. But also at the same time, there's payments that come with it, and an interest. There's an interest rate attached to it as well.
So it sounds like if someone needed to get into a new place while theirs is still on the market, they could go the bridge loan path, but there's going to be more headaches. They're going to be paying more money, and
Mm.
potentially, if their house doesn't sell, they now are paying multiple mortgages and they have to pay off that bridge loan.
Yes, they do have to pay it off by a certain amount of time.
Wow. Okay.
So
That sounds like a lot of not so great possibilities.
so yeah, that's like the traditional
Mhm.
bridge loan. This is kind of like a modernized bridge loan.
Perfect.
So
Now paint the picture for the person that is smart enough to go with your path.
yeah, absolutely. So it's a really simple and easy process. The approval process takes 24 hours, sometimes even less. But basically, after you're approved, and by the way, we only need 10 pictures. It can literally be iPhone pictures of the current home. And then Homelight uses like their own algorithm to figure out what the value is for that current home that they're trying to sell, and then we'll know how much equity we're able to advance for them. So the approval process, like I said, is super easy. And then after that, we're just kind of waiting for them to go under contract, which will happen a lot faster because now there's no contingency to sell. They're on like the same and equal playing field with everyone else. They don't have to worry about their offers not being accepted over and over and over again. And so once they go under contract, then we'll apply those funds to the new home. So the best part about this program also is that after 120 days, after you go under contract, um, if the home does not sell, then HomeLight will purchase that home to eliminate the risk that they'll have two mortgage payments.
Mm, mm,
So that's kind of that's kind of the reason why we're able to have them make offers with no contingency to sell, and then also still not calculate their current mortgage from the DTI, because basically we're telling the lenders that they're not going to have this house after 120 days. It's a guaranteed purchase. So the Homelight does not, we don't want to purchase this home. Homelight and Mortgage One Northwest, we don't want to keep this home. That's not, what the goal is. The goal is just to eliminate the risk and the risk of basically not the risk of having all of these multiple mortgage payments and going under contract and having this house that still hasn't sold. So it just completely eliminates that. But Homelight continues after, if they do need to actually purchase the home, I'm sure, it'll sell before the 120 days. That's why we do the valuation. It's kind of like a mini inspection. They're looking through the pictures. Um, they wouldn't accept the transaction if they had any reason to believe that the home wouldn't sell. Like, they're looking at comparables as well,
mm.
so if they feel confident that the home will sell, they'll work with us, all of us as a team. But for whatever reason, if it doesn't sell after 120 days, then Homelight will step in to purchase, but then they'll continue to work with the client's agent on the buyer side, to relist the house so that you can basically help the client get the most out of the sale of their home.
Okay.
Um, and then once that home sells, they'll be able to obtain the net proceeds from the final sale of the home, of the departing residents, if that makes
Mm.
sense. So that's another benefit of working with Homelight, because they'll be able to buy their home first and then list their home vacant and then choose to stage the home as well,
Mm.
which obviously, they'll have the opportunity to make more money
Mhm.
from that transaction. Because usually with a contingency to sell, there's this huge rush. I'm sure you've experienced, you as a real estate agent, when you're trying to like rush a sale, you're going to have to lower the price typically. And so that's a way that they're actually losing money if they do have to go down. Well, they don't have to go down that route because there's this option. But if they do choose to go down the route of making offers with the contingency to sell their current home. So.
Yeah, then they have to pay the price of convenience, which that's a lower sales price typically.
Yes, that's true as well. It's just a lot less stressful,
Mhm.
basically. And we have the opportunity to help the client make more more funds from the transaction.
Yeah, so from the pictures that we painted, option one with the bridge loan, tight time crunch, more expensive, no really safety net there.
Yeah.
That's a choice. Or we have your option where there's kind of that safety net, right? Home light will buy it at that price, that it appraises for through their system. They won't have to carry the two mortgages from what it sounds like.
Yep.
And the house could actually sell for more because we can get it in actually a better state to sell in.
Exactly.
Wow, that's
Yes.
that's a lot. That's a lot of wins. So who do you see use this most? Is it people that move up buyer, like maybe they were in a condo and now they're getting that family and they're moving up, or are you seeing it for, I don't know, the boomers that are trying to downsize because now all the kids are out?
It's both of those scenarios. There's so many people that could utilize this program. It's, the yeah, we do call them move up buyers where they're looking to expand. They just need more space. And then it's really popular for people who want to, buy that house on the lake, looking to get into their dream homes, and then people that do want to downsize. And basically anyone who is a current homeowner that just doesn't want to list their house for sale until they go under contract with their new house. Because that could be stressful too. So now they don't have to sell their current home before getting into the new property.
Okay.
Um, and for people that have been in their house for at least a couple of years or so, just so that they have enough equity built up to utilize. So, and regarding the equity, I'm sure people are wondering when they'll have to pay that back. So basically, the client doesn't pay anything until they sell the current residence.
Mhm.
So there's no payment until the final sell of the departing residence, and that's when you'll pay back the equity that you borrowed, and then the fee for this program is 2.4%. And but none of this happens until we actually close on the departing residence.
On the departing. Yeah, I was just about to ask. I was like, okay, what is the catch? Do they have to name their first child Homelight? Do they have to pay some astronomical fee? Like, what actually has to be done? But 2.4%, that kind of seems kind of high. I mean, do you see any pushback there or?
Oh, absolutely. That's probably one of the most popular concerns when it comes to this program, because it's like you're paying another real estate agent commission, it's like a third real estate agent. But when you really think about how much they'll save though, like if they think about being able to obtain seller concessions to go towards their closing costs when they go in to buy the new property. I'm sure you as a real estate agent, when you're having to make contingent offers, you're going to be reluctant to ask for closing costs as well. Well, now you have the freedom to do that. I mean, you could ask for it, but you're probably not, there's less of a chance that they'll receive closing costs covered because it's a contingency to sell already. But now there's no contingency. Feel free to ask for seller concessions. So that's one way they'll be able to make up for that fee. And then also, another way for them to make up for that fee is that with them being able to basically list their house completely vacant, or they'll have the option to stage it if they want. Um, that's like a guarantee that they're going to sell their current house for a lot more than having to time the seller of their house with the new purchase. And it's like, oh my goodness, there's this huge rush, I got to sell it by the time I buy. How can we just get rid of this house as soon as possible? That's just another way for them to lose money if they go down that route. So another way to make up for that 2.4 fee is they're just going to make a whole lot more, so being able to list and show their house vacant or staged. So
Yeah, so it sounds like yes, there's that 2.4, and I'm sure some people are up in arms when they first hear that because even I raised an eyebrow like, what is this lady talking about? But when you really break it down and look at the possible gain on both sides, on the departing side, is you can actually sell your house for more, right? Because it's going to be clean,
mhm,
it's going to be staged, it's going to be the premier house that it can be, which is always going to increase the likelihood of the higher sales price. And then on the concession side of being able to negotiate for that on the buy side is going to be huge too. Because if you're purchasing with like a conventional loan, you can ask for a good chunk of concessions to be paid for, probably even more
right.
than the 2.4%. So it's almost washed out. Plus,
Absolutely. Yeah,
uh,
that's a really good point, more than 2.4%. And then also just being able to eliminate the stress, like it's just so stressful without it, and then also saving time. Time is precious as well. So I really
yeah.
feel like it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what value that people place on their time or their peace of mind, right? Being able to sleep well at night. but I'm sure
Mhm.
there's a dollar amount for each person, and
Yeah.
2.4% is probably worth the time and the peace of mind.
Yes, it definitely is. Like I really love it. I feel like I mean, I'm really excited about it because that's kind of our goal is to eliminate as much stress as possible. The home buying process is kind of, there's its ups and downs and you never know what can happen during the process, but this is a way for us to um, create a smoother, stress-free uh, home buying process for our homeowners that are looking to move into their next home.
Yeah, so we've kind of talked about the program, but do you have like a real life example? I know that you had said you had some personal experience, so you're welcome to either share that, or maybe there's a client that like you worked with. So we can just get out of the theory or what the product is, but really actually see the impact that it can have.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I was feeling really bad about one of my clients. She was, going um, house hunting with her agent and obviously offering contingent offers, like contingency to sell her current home. Another issue was that she actually didn't want to list her home at all until she went under contract. So that was another con, like when sellers see that she doesn't have the house listed, and so that's just more of a risk for them. So just offers denied over and over again. And so just to give her a leg up and give her just to be able to help her win, um, that's when I was like, okay, we should definitely do this home light buy before you sell program to completely eliminate the contingency to sell, just completely get rid of it. She can still eliminate the DTI, the mortgage liability from the DTI, so that's great as well. And just make the most out of the whole transaction. Like it's a win-win for all parties involved, and it just feels good to be able to help in that way, so.
Nice, nice. And so we're both based here in Washington, but where else do you serve? Is it just here in Washington?
I'm focused on Washington State. I'm licensed in Washington State. My office has the ability to help buyers in Idaho and Oregon
Mhm.
and California as well. But my focus is Washington State. I don't know. I love this state. I know it's really expensive to live here, and it takes a lot to become a homeowner. It's a stressful process. But my goal is just to educate and to guide our clients to where they need to be, and then once they're ready, I'm there for them for the very beginning to the very end, because I know we have to offer some emotional support as well. It can be, a process, but um, with our guidance, it can be a lot less stressful. With certain programs, it can be a lot less stressful. So, yeah, I'm excited to be able to offer this.
Yeah, I think as fantastic as we both are at what we do, I don't think we'll ever eliminate the stress of buying or selling or anything like that. But with these types of tools, I think we can definitely reduce the stress that our clients feel.
Yes, exactly.
Good. And so if people want to reach out to you to talk about this program or any other fantastic things that you and your team offer, how do they get a hold of you?
Yes, absolutely. I'm all over social media. I'm not really a social media person, but for our clients, I'll do it. Instagram, Justina Home Loans. I'm on Facebook, Justina Stoddert. Very scarily, very easily to be found on any type of Google search. So, um, yeah, I'm happy to help.
Perfect. And then Justina's contact info will also be in the description of the video below. So if you want to go back and get in touch with her, you definitely can. If you like the video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Until next time, see ya.
Thanks, Curtis. Bye.